Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's training workshop, where we'll be talking about a remodeling contractor's blueprint for social media success. Whether you're a remodeler, home builder, designer, or other home improvement professional, social media should be an important part of your marketing efforts for your contracting business, as well as to showcase your brand. What I want to focus on today is how to build the best engagement from your followers and prospective customers. Not just posting your before and after project pictures every day to Facebook, like I see sometimes. As we all know, that can get a little boring and monotonous and doesn't really get the best engagement from your followers. Today, we're going to be talking about how to create video content for social media. Video content really has the best engagement on social media. We'll also talk about how to create a weekly planning process for posting your content, as well as how to create the perfect video framework. It's really hard sometimes to just come up with content on the fly and just wing it. So having a framework really can help here. Sometimes it's hard to develop scripts. So we're going to help you put a framework together to help accomplish all of that. We're also going to show you how to syndicate your content for maximum reach. You're going to want to use systems and processes in order to syndicate your content for maximum reach. And we'll also talk about how to repurpose your content in order to increase the frequency of posts that you're putting out. And so, real quick, just this, who am I and why you should listen to me? I'm an associate member of the NAHB as well as the Denver HBA, also an industry partner for NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, as well as an industry partner for the NKBA, the National Kitchen and Bath Association. I am a former home remodeler and custom home developer, so I've been there, I've been in your shoes. I know some of the challenges you face. Also, the author of the book, Internet Marketing for Contractors and Builders. I've worked with builders, contractors, and remodeling companies all across the country. So, like I said, I really have been in your shoes. I know what you're facing. I know some of those obstacles and challenges you face when it comes to really trying to market your business and have success at that. And really to go way back, I'm a computer geek at heart. So I've been around computers since the mid 80s, learning how to write code, build websites, and then kind of coming up through the ranks in SEO as it's developed and evolved and evolved significantly over time. And so, enough about me. Most importantly, this is what we do day in and day out. We only work with builders, remodelers, and home improvement companies. That allows us to see a lot of data and to keep refining and perfecting our processes and strategies in order to bring our clients the most success possible. So, with that said, let's just go ahead and jump into today's focus on social media. One of the key concepts that we focus on for building brand awareness is termed omnipresence. It's just as it sounds, being found in as many places as possible so that your prospective customers are finding you everywhere. Brand awareness is so important these days, and social media is a great platform for building that. The first principle of our omnipresence system is to maximize the opportunity for you to generate a lead for your remodeling or home improvement business. A social media post is what I'm talking about here, and not social media ads, is one of those opportunities. And then the second core principle of the omnipresence system is to maximize your brand impressions to your ideal customer to make sure they are seeing your brand repeatedly. And an organic social media strategy can really help you accomplish that. And the third principle is to maximize the conversion rates around everything that you're doing with your digital marketing and your social media marketing. You'll want to structure your social media in a way that will help you increase your conversion rates of what you're posting so that you're not just posting the same old thing all the time and really getting no true engagement from your audience. And so, what we really have here is what I call the social dilemma. Every one of you knows that you should be posting on social media for your remodeling or home improvement business, but it can really be challenging to make this happen, to keep up with it on a day-to-day basis with all the other hats that you're wearing and that your team is wearing. But you know down deep in your heart that you really need to be doing this. I always call out this social media dilemma, this social dilemma, so to speak, because a lot of you probably watched that Netflix special a few years back, and it shows you how the social algorithm really works and how it's built to engage people and really to suck them into the platform, to keep people on the platform scrolling and clicking, and that way they're showing more and more ads to you, getting more and more eyeballs so that they could sell more ads for more dollars. And so you kind of become a part of that. In other words, you want to be winning in that algorithm. You want to keep people's eyes on your business. That's going to be beneficial for you in terms of growing your business, growing your reach, growing your brand awareness. One of the first things that I always see with contractors, and not necessarily just with contractors, really with people in all industries, in regards to social media, is that it's inconsistent. Inconsistency in your posting is what a lot of the problem is. You need to have consistent posts on an ongoing basis. And this means all the posting that you should be doing, but probably aren't due to time constraints or whatever obstacles there are for you, within your company to be posting on a daily and weekly basis. And so, who here has a competitor in their market that is in their social media feed nonstop? You're always seeing them. It kind of maybe makes you a little bit mad because you're always seeing them, and you're thinking, "Hey, I want to get my business out there." So I'm sure you see competitors like that. Maybe they're part of some remodeling groups on social media. You see these guys over and over posting content nonstop. You're probably thinking, what are they doing? How do they do this? How do they stay so consistent with this day after day, week after week? And really, time is one of the biggest issues here. A lot of times when I talk to contractors, they say, man, I just don't have time to post all the time. And it's that lack of time that really makes it so inconsistent for businesses to post. And then another reason that I think posting becomes inconsistent is that creativity takes time. You have to sit down and think about, what am I going to post about today? What should I talk about today? Or what did I see recently that would be a good post? Or even, what does my audience want to hear? And then we kind of get stuck in this cycle of procrastination of trying to create the perfect post or the perfect video for your social media. And in doing that, it becomes a big struggle. You really become your own worst enemy, your own obstacle. It's really challenging to come up with these creative ideas and especially to do it day after day, week after week. Yeah, if you look at some of the more consistent content creators online, you're probably thinking that these folks are so creative, and you're probably thinking there's just no way that you can really become that creative. And that's where you're wrong. Actually, you can do it. Practice makes perfect, right? And then another thing that I think inhibits us from posting on a consistent basis is that when you start posting, you're waiting for those likes to come in and comments to come flowing. You push out that content, you push out those posts, but you're not really pulling anything in return for your efforts. And all of a sudden, it's just a sound of crickets, and you're thinking, man, what? I took the time to create all this content, and I posted on my different social media channels, and then I've got no comments coming in. I'm not really getting any engagement from any of this. There's nothing coming in. Why am I even doing this? You're kind of thinking to yourself. In other words, you might think you have good posts, but conversions are not really happening. You're just not getting the engagement that you're hoping for. And so, really, what results here is a failure on what you're trying to accomplish. You end up not creating any authority to your ideal customer that you're really targeting on social media. Yeah, you have low positioning, and you ultimately end up having low organic momentum from this. On social media, as most folks know, you have organic posts and then you have the paid ads. There are two very different strategies for each of them. Those strategies can overlap, but they definitely are different strategies. So you need to be aware of that. When you're not posting consistently, you're not being creative and you're not really getting an engagement, that ends up being a failure on what you're trying to accomplish with your social media marketing plan and then building that engagement. So, just to pause and see where everyone is at with this so far, drop a comment in the chat here. What is the hardest part about creating content for you? Let me know so that I know what everyone's challenge really is. Let me just look at the chat, the posts coming in. Being relevant and interesting, Dave says. Sure, yeah, being relevant. You want to be relevant to your audience. It's hard to think through some of this. You have to really take some time to reflect on what value you can provide your perfect customer, what really will resonate with them. And then Jamie says originality. Originality is a tough one for sure. Authenticity is another way of saying originality. Being authentic to yourself, being authentic to your brand, to what your customers are looking for. Coming up with relevant topics that don't look like ads. It's just being genuine and talking and teaching and educating. So that's definitely something to think about. People smell a sales approach nowadays. They smell it a mile away. They're thinking, man, they're just trying to sell me something. And that's all this really is. So being genuine and that originality and coming up with relevant topics and content is really key. So, thanks for those couple of comments that we got so far. Keep posting if you've got thoughts, comments, questions that I can answer while we're going along here. And so one of the things that's important is that we want to make content that flows, content that's easy to produce. We want to make it easy to produce the content, easy to come up with those topics, because that's going to help you remain more consistent at this in the long run. And to do that, we kind of want to, have this paint by numbers approach, basically a system that you follow, in other words. Yeah, you remember that when you were a kid, the paint by numbers, you just put the different colors into the different shapes labeled with the numbers, easy peasy, right? That's the kind of system that we want to have here, just something that easy to follow, just a system. You got to have a system. Businesses are all about processes and systems, in case you haven't figured that out already, with all the other operations that you're running and thinking, hey, these are all just systems that we follow. And so in doing that, this will really make your content seem more prolific, more relevant to your audience. They're going to see you more. They're going to feel like they're really getting a lot of content, a lot of educational value from you. And then success in this is that new leads will be coming in from your social media content on a more consistent basis. Now, it's not, a lead generation strategy per se, like Google or paid ads, but it can be a lead strategy where people are following you and finally they reach out when the timing is right for them. It's kind of like the old analogy of a drill. People don't buy a drill because they want to drill. People buy a drill because they want a hole. They want to create a hole. That's what they get the drill for. So in regards to what we're talking about today, you're not doing social media content just because you love doing social media content, just love making videos. Maybe you do, but for the most part, a lot of us wouldn't have the time or want to make the time to do all this social media content if there wasn't a higher purpose involved. So really the true aspect of it is trying to generate more leads for your remodeling or home improvement business, or at minimum, at least just trying to create authority in your space so that when potential customers do look you up online, they feel like you are the most trusted contractor to work with. So that's really the reason why you want to do this. You want to become the authority in your niche, whether you're a builder, designer, remodeler, whatever home improvement niche that you're in. You want to be the trusted go-to contractor in your area. And you want more leads from organic social media as a result of that. Organic social media is free as well. So if your lead cost is really low, although it does take some time, as we all know, time is money though. So it does take some time, but then again, the leads are going to be very, very low cost, free if you really want to call them that. So, that's a pretty good trade-off for the time that you put in. And in remodeling, at the cost of some of these jobs, just generate one or two jobs in a year can easily pay for, that hour or two that you put in each week, or better yet, you have someone or many someone's on your team doing that with you or for you. And so we're going to work through 5 key principles for creating this content and creating this social media system, as I like to call it, system being the key word here. This content machine, that's what we really should call it. It's really going to be just a machine that consistently, persistently puts out content for you. And the first thing you're going to want to do is come up with the topics in advance. And so let me know in the chat really quick if you're just like kind of winging it with your social media topic. Put a 1 in chat if you just wing it. You just kind of come up with this stuff on the fly. Or put a 2 in chat if you think through your topic ahead of time. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 1s already. Most people are just winging it, right? You just kind of, post whatever or whip out a video. You're not really thinking this through, which makes it much harder to produce content at scale. You can wing some ideas, but it's not really going to do this at scale and keep your content calendar full, keep your social media feed full. And so there really are a lot of ways to do this. It's really very simple because you guys get questions from your perfect customer every day. They're always asking you questions, right? They're calling into your business, asking you questions about how you approach jobs, how you consult with people, what kind of design ideas you might have. You're sitting at the kitchen table with them. In other words, you're going over design proposal, and they're asking questions. You're overcoming some objections in the sales process. Or on build day, they have questions about how the project's going to unfold. Or after the project is complete, they might have some more questions on what to expect going forward. Maintenance issues. They're asking about, how to maintain certain products that you've put in. What else might be done in the future, things like that. Is there anything that they need to do to keep everything looking new? Questions that come up in your customers' minds on an ongoing basis. There's all these questions over the years. You've been asked probably dozens, if not hundreds of them. So coming up with topics in advance is fairly easy. And we're going to walk through a framework on how to do that. I also want to mention a really good book on this topic. The author of the book is Marcus Sheridan, and the book is called They Ask, You Answer. So the book focuses on content marketing and really talks about questions and building that content machine that we're speaking of based on what questions are people asking you. And then the second key strategy that aligns perfectly with this content machine is shooting these videos in batches. And this can be done in about an hour or two per week. If you get the system really down pat, an hour or two per week gets you social media posts for the whole week. And sometimes you can even make the content last longer than that. All of it comes down to shooting video in batches. So once you have these topics that you're going to talk about, then you just need to take some time and sit down with film, just film one video after another. And in that filming process, you're just going to freestyle in a framework. You're not going to write scripts for every single video, but you're not just going to be winging it freestyle with every video either, with really no thought as to what you're going to say in advance. You want it to sound unscripted, but you don't want it to come off as being really raw, like you haven't even thought about this ahead of time whatsoever. So trying to strike a good balance there. So you want to develop this framework where it's structured properly. Structure it in a way that helps with those conversion rates that we talked about previously. Yeah, you're hitting on all the key points. You're capturing their attention. You're giving them maybe the answer to the question that they've always been looking for. And you need to have a call to action as well. So don't forget that. That becomes a part of your framework. There's a simple framework that we're going to go through to do that, but we're going to freestyle within that framework too, so that it doesn't feel or seem scripted or salesy. So if we can master this framework, like even the webinar that I'm doing right here today for you guys is a framework that I use. I don't script this out, but I have a framework. I have a beginning, a middle, and an end to the way that I structure my webinars. So it's a framework that I'm working in and kind of working off of today. And so we're going to go through how to use a framework in your own social media posting as well. And then the fourth thing that we're going to talk about is really working on how to amplify your reach. The reason you're doing social media posts is to get more attention for your business, right? So you want to amplify your reach. That will get you in front of more people, more eyeballs. That's the goal here, right? And then the fifth key principle that we want to work on is removing ourselves from the posting process. So we're going to go into how to do that, because that's really what throws a lot of you off. You don't maybe mind talking about the topic, shooting the videos, really sharing value and education that only maybe you can share. But when it comes to time to maybe editing those videos, adding subtitles, actually doing the posting, that's where you go, look, I just don't have time to do that. So we're going to go into that as well. And so I want to take a second here and talk about another book. It's called The Content Rules by Ann Handley. And I think it's going to give you some really good insight into your audience. In this book, The Content Rules, they outline the 1-9-90 principles. And those numbers correspond to 1% of the people online on these social media platforms are creators, 9% are contributors, and a full 90% are what we call lurkers. So we always see the creators. Those folks are pretty obvious. They're the ones creating content on a regular basis. We see them out there all the time, especially in remodeling, people like Tommy Mello. See them all the time. The contributors are people that are in the comments. They're not creating the content, but they're sharing, they're commenting, they're engaged in the process. But if you look at this, that's not really a lot of people. That's only 10% of people on social media that are really truly involved in it. 90% of people on social media are just kind of watching from the background. They're the lurkers. That's all they're doing. They're just kind of looking and reading, but they really aren't contributing anything. So we have to understand that. And maybe your post isn't getting a lot of likes. Maybe it's not getting a lot of engagement. But if it's being seen, you're getting those brand impressions to your perfect customer at least. So don't really count on likes and comments as the barometer, as the measuring stick, because that's not the only thing to be looking at. At least you're getting people's eyeballs on it as well. So going through this a little bit, yeah, 65% of all Facebook video views come from mobile users. 85% of Facebook users watch videos with the sound off. That's kind of surprising. A lot of people are probably watching at work, maybe just looking to see if the topic's going to really resonate. Maybe they'll mark that video and come back to it later. And most people only watch about 10 seconds or so of a video to determine if they like it or not. So video content is how people are really consuming content nowadays. There's this really strong trend towards video, especially with the likes of TikTok now. Everything on TikTok, as you know, is a video. So we have what we call the TikTok effect, has really resulted in a carryover into Instagram, because now we have the Instagram Reels, and now that's propagated into Facebook, having short video reels as well. And then YouTube now has YouTube Shorts, which are all vertical, short, bite-sized pieces of content that it's really getting a lot more engagement, because again, people know these are short, bite-sized chunks of video content, and people like to watch video at 8 times more than they like to read their content, consume content, versus reading it versus watching video. It's a huge difference there. So And doing these videos and posting them the way that the social media platforms like, it results in these short videos that people are much more likely to consume. And so we're really talking 2 or 3 minutes or less is what we're shooting for when we're starting out here. Preferably even shorter, minute, minute and a half. I think Instagram limit is like a minute and a half right now. So 90 seconds is really all you got. So really try to focus on getting good content squeezed into a short amount of time is really what we're looking for here. And so in creating content, we also don't want to be hitting the same key every time. What I mean by that is, how many contractors do you see that the only thing in their Facebook feed is the before and after pics of all their projects? That's it. Before and after pics, before and after, before and after, before and after. That's all they're posting every single time. And not surprisingly, there's very little engagement on those posts. They start really losing their luster, their interest factor. The shine wears off pretty quick, in other words. So you really want to mix it up. You want to mix it up and make sure that you're telling different stories, that you're connecting and communicating with different people in different ways. And then next, let's talk about how we actually get this done. First off, there are many styles that you can adopt to get this done. Maybe you stick strictly to a framework. Maybe you want to bring in a professional photographer and really produce super polished work. Or maybe you just pull out your iPhone and kind of wing it on different topics that come to mind for you. But the commonality is that with any style, you must be producing good content that has value for your audience. Value is really the key here. And I want to give you this next framework so you can do it a lot easier to help get people, producing content. I really want to get everyone started on this. Just really jump in. Don't dip a toe. Like jump into this, really get going. And then as you go, you can start freestyling in some more of your own ideas and mixing things up a little bit. But to really get started, it's going to really help you if you have a framework that really gets you going and kind of breaks you through that I don't really know how to do this thoughts that you might be having. And so here's a great content calendar kind of map that you can follow. The first thing is creating a monthly plan like this. In this monthly plan, we want to break it down into categories of topics. So we're going to have success stories, character stories, teaching on a topic, motivational quotes, being the expert. Those are your categories. Another category would be a team story where you can share something about your team. And so within that category, you're doing a piece of content around that. So let's say in week one, you're going to sit down and we're just going to do a success story, which is maybe a before and after of a recent project. Could just be the after. Hey, here we are out here finishing a project. We just finished up this beautiful kitchen renovation. That could be it. Or you could, do a bit deeper dive into, all that you've accomplished on that project. And so the success of how you complete that project is the point for that video. So in other words, like the Davis family had a vision for a dream kitchen. And this is how we went about creating a fabulous design for them that really fit their lifestyle and functionality of how they wanted things to work. And this is the success of that new kitchen that we created. And now their family will be able to enjoy this new space for years to come based on the layout, the functionality, all these different features that you incorporated that you're highlighting. So that's how that success story can really work for you. Or maybe you tell a character story. Maybe it's the origin story, how you got into remodeling. What inspired you to build your remodeling company? One of the biggest things that resonates with consumers is an owner that has a why, that they feel, is why they're really in business and why they're doing this. They're into business for the right reasons. That's going to really resonate with people. They're not just in the business to make money. They really are motivated. They're passionate about what they're doing. And another piece of the puzzle will be to teach, educate on a topic, in other words. People ask questions all the time, when to remodel their home? What should be the questions I'm asking? What renovation will return the most when it comes to building their home equity? Those are ideas for teaching on a topic More ideas like, is your a full renovation covered by insurance in the event of water damage? Or is the insurance company just fixing the water damage? What is the cost of a typical kitchen remodel in your area? And then maybe the different ranges of those kitchen remodel based on kind of what you're looking for. All of these things are questions that you can answer and teach on. And in teaching on this, you're building your authority, you're building trust. When people watch these videos, this builds trust in your company and in you, the expert. Another thing we do in our company and in our company's team Slack channel is to share an inspirational quote every Monday. So, sharing a quote or a mantra that you like and mention something about why you like it and what it means to you, maybe how it ties into your mission or your core values, some things that just going to really resonate with people. People like those quotes to really motivate them and also to learn more about your company. With all the people we have on today, I'm guessing there are many folks on here who started their own company because the company they used to work for, they just didn't really feel good about the way they were doing things or the ethics and values that company had, or they just feel like they can do things better. They've got their own creativity, their own ideas. And so, really quick, just give me a show of hands in the chat. Put a one in the chat if you've ever worked for a company that you felt like, yeah, they're not doing it right. They're not doing it the way your value system would have you do it. Maybe that's why you started your company. That's your origin story. Yeah, I definitely see some ones in there. You want to do things your way. You know that you have a better approach to it, or you can offer better customer service. You just gotta, you're more passionate. Maybe you just got a happier attitude in life. So, even if it's not a company that you previously worked for that you're trying to distance yourself from, maybe it's another company that you compete with. You can talk about that too, without calling them out. You can just talk about what drove you to build your company better than them. What drives you on a day-to-day basis to help homeowners, have more satisfaction and enjoyment in the renovations that you're doing. So now that we have our plan, the next thing we're going to work on is freestyling within a framework. So the framework starts with a promise. The promise is what problem you're going to solve for them today. It's kind of the way that you're pulling them into the content. Talk about the problem that people have and how you're going to solve it for them. Then you can kind of enter into your branding. So in other words, something like, hey, this is Bob Vance with Home Remodeler SEO. And then, that's the branding. Now you want to plant the seed. What's the problem? And in that seeding, you're kind of giving a brief overview or what you're going to teach or go through in that problem, how to solve for something, in other words. And so you're going to go through that topic in training. You're going to have to, have a call to action as well. And then after your call to action is when you sign off. And so that's kind of the framework. Your promise, your kind of your branding introduction, and then coming back to that promise and how you're going to solve for it, the call to action, and then signing off. So that's kind of the framework that you're going to work with. And then you can freestyle within that framework. So again, you're always starting with a promise, add in your branding, who you are, who your company is, plant the seed and what you're going to do and share the value in that and how you're going to solve for it, that topic or that training, and then that call to action, that CTA, in other words. Yeah, so an example of a call to action, just something simple like, hey, my phone number is 555-5555. Give me a call if you need any help with planning out your kitchen remodel, or hey, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or follow me on Instagram and comment below. Just calling something to action, having them call you, comment on something, subscribe to something, following your podcast. Those are all examples of calls to action. Everyone needs to have these calls of action because you want people to actually do something. You don't want them to just watch your video and then go back to watching viral cat videos or whatever it is. You want them to actually reach out to you or at least engage with your brand. So let me know in chat if you think this will help you get started. Put a one in the chat if you think that this simplifies the way you could create content for your remodeling or home improvement business. We're just trying to simplify things here. This is what we're really looking to do here. Yeah, so I'm seeing some ones rolling in. I got a one from Steve. Teresa put a one in. Randy one as well. Yeah, yeah, a lot of ones coming in here. This is supposed to make things more simple, right? This is what we're after here. How do we simplify this so that we can stay more consistent? So I hope this has helped you understand how you use a framework and then how you freestyle, kind of wing it within that framework. So I understand content creation can be challenging, and that's really why only 1% of people actually do it. So my advice to you is make sure you're part of the 1% that's actually doing it. And so let me just give you an example of how I would do it, so that you can kind of see all the components together. So first, I'll share the promise. So on this video today, I'm going to show you how to determine the cost of a kitchen renovation in Denver, Colorado. Hey, by the way, this is Bob Vance with Vance Refrigeration and Remodeling. And this is one of the most common questions that we get from homeowners. So now let's talk about really what determines the cost of a kitchen renovation. Now, we need to talk about the design. We need to talk about the size of the space that you have to work with. Will there be any walls moved or removed entirely? Will there be extra support beams needed if we're removing walls? Or is there going to be any electrical being moved or reran? What type of materials are you looking for? Are you looking for granite countertops or maybe quartz? What will be the quality of the cabinets? All these materials and finishes that go into your project will ultimately determine if you're going to be doing a $50,000 kitchen remodel or a $150,000 kitchen remodel. So if you would like to receive a detailed estimate on designing a new kitchen of your dreams, please visit our website at advancedrefrigeration and remodeling.com and schedule your free estimate. Or you can give us a call at 555-5555. Thanks for joining me on this quick video. I hope you got some value, and I look forward to talking with you soon. So there's an example of a video right there that, a script that you can do. You're talking about everything that someone's going to be interested in for a kitchen remodel. That's the framework to use. And then you also saw I kind of freestyled within that framework. I just kind of talk about the different aspects of design and walls coming out and different materials. So, it doesn't have to be all scripted out. So, who thinks they can do that? Give me a 2 in the chat if you think you can do this. Yeah, so Jerry says, yeah, he thinks he can. Yeah, sure you can, Jerry. Larry says yes. Yep. Holly says she's doing one before the end of the week. All right, Holly, you only got 2 days, so get to it. Love hearing that. Great enthusiasm. Really quick, Lauren asked the question, how long should your social media content videos be? And so we want to keep videos under 3 minutes for sure. Different platforms have different video length requirements. Most of the time, we're really shooting for under 3 minutes, and I would really say a minute and a half to 2 minutes. I know that Instagram, like I said, they're really famous for getting a lot of engagement on videos. TikTok, especially, those are a minute to minute and a half tops. That's it. So I mean, when you think about winging it and freestyling, I don't know what to say, and I don't have a script. I mean, can you know your business? You know your craft. You've been doing it for years. Don't tell me you can't talk for 60 seconds on what you do for a living day in and day out. You're an expert at it. So don't shortchange yourself there. You know that you can do this. So, if you're shooting, you just really need to check the time for the different platforms to see what length they need to be for that platform, or just try to shoot for short videos so that it's going to be good for no matter what platform you're on. If you do a video in a minute, you're going to be able to use that on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. It's going to work. If you get longer videos, then you got to look and see, okay, that might have to be one of my YouTube shorts, or you can make longer videos and then chop them up a little bit into smaller bite-sized content. So there's a lot of way to do that. There's really no perfect length of time, though. People, like I said, usually just watch that beginning 10 seconds. That's where that promise is, the branding and the seed to really help engage them, to get them to listen longer once they figure out that that's going to be a relevant topic for them. That's what they're a topic that they're trying to learn on. So there's a lot of times that we click on something and it's just not as relevant as we thought it might be, as we want it to be, and so we click off it. We just go back into search results, or we're just kind of done with that video. We're not going to watch it. It didn't just really didn't resonate for us. And so that's normal. That's going to happen. But once you get good at this, and the length of time should be what it takes to explain what you need to explain. So don't get wordy. Don't, start with, word salads and just going off on 7-minute tangents that have completely just missed the topic. We've all heard a lot of that lately. So you really want to keep things short, be succinct, be direct, get to the point, and then make sure that you're talking about different topics in different videos. That's what we're really talking about. In the end, try to focus on short, catchy videos that give good value and solve a problem for the person that's watching. So now I want to do just a little quick video exercise where you can write some ideas down, just a little something to get everyone to put their thinking caps on. So here's the exercise. And you can do this now, but you can also do this on your own as well. So this is a great video exercise to help you get better at producing more and better social media content. So the first thing you want to do is pick 3 topics. So just take a second here, pick 3 topics. Everyone write down 3 topics that you can do a short video on. And then once you get them, write those 3 topics in chat. I want to kind of see what people are putting in chat. And then when you get off this webinar today, go and shoot those 3 videos, just minute and a half each, maybe a couple minutes. Just use your webcam on your computer or heck, just, use your phone. Don't overthink it. Just do something. Just pull your iPhone out and start shooting. Don't be paralyzed by fear. Everyone has to start somewhere. No one's going to be perfect on their first video. Like Tony Robbins, he didn't start out as a guru. He earned that guru title through repetitive effort, through constantly always speaking on stage, always putting out content. So now that's why he's the guru that we all listen to. And so Nancy said, what determines the cost of a kitchen remodel? Yeah, that's a great topic. We kind of talked about that in my example, where is it going to be a big kitchen remodel or a small kitchen remodel? There's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot you can talk about there, Nancy. So that's a great topic. Maurice added, what is the length of time for a basement remodel? So that's a great topic as well. How long is that going to take? Is an ADU conversion possible in my neighborhood? Says yeah, Frank. Yeah, Frank. I know you're out in San Francisco. They do a lot of ADUs out there, so that's big. You really need to check permitting. You really need to understand where that's going to be allowed. So you can talk about that as well. You can talk about financing options. You can talk about, what should a customer expect to happen on build day? How does that unfold? You just knock on the door and say, "Hey, we're coming in," or have you planned for that? How do you educate them on how to be ready for that? How to prepare for you guys showing up on that first day? You can talk about how long a project will take, what all is covered, in a basement repair if it's flooded from water damage. So those are all great topics. Thanks a lot there, Harry. That was a good one. I really like that last one. Good job there, Steve. Thanks for that contribution again. So really great topics. Just thanks everyone for contributing. You guys have a whole list of topics here I've just read in chat. So you've got the topics. You've heard other people's topics. So now is the time. Go shoot those videos. Get out there and start shooting. And so now let's move on to repurposing your content. Let's say you create a long video. Maybe it's a 5-minute long video, and that's okay. You don't want all of them to be 5 minutes, of course. But let's say you have one that, just for purpose of this example, so now you can put that 5-minute video on your YouTube channel, but then you could pull little clips of it and put those clips on your social media. So when you create a piece of content, it's not that that piece of content is one and done and it just lives in that one place forever. You now get to use it again and again. You can also post it from month to month. 2 months from now, you can post it. You could post it on your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your TikTok. You can post it in multiple places. You can also repost it a year from now. It doesn't have to. There's not going to be a whole lot that changes about the things that you think about that go into a kitchen remodel. It's going to be relevant today is also going to be relevant a year from now too. And so that's what we talk about when we're talking about repurposing content. It makes your content creation so much easier. You're really building this library of content. And as you're creating this content, you're building this library that you can continually pull from in the future. Like I said, month after month, year after year, that library of content is always going to be there for you. And in doing that, you can use tools like these tools I've got listed here. These are great social media posting tools, planning tools, Sendable, Social Pilot, Sprout Social, Plannable, Buffer, Meet Edgar. We haven't used all these. We used a couple of them. You need to find what works best for you, the interface that works best for you. These are tools that really help you post content in batches. So whether you're just doing, the standard 5 videos in a day, you can schedule all that out on social media. Now these post on different days, so you can use these tools to do that. They make posting easier, but you also can post a video as you shoot it. Just do it live, post right from your phone. There's rumors that the algorithm likes that better, but there's also rumors on the other side that says that doesn't matter. Just having content out there is what really matters. So these tools help you do social media content in an evergreen fashion. It's what's called evergreen posting. It lives forever and it can keep being reused. You could film 50 videos, put them in a queue, and kind of sort them out, and then just say, hey, I want a video to go out every day at 1 o'clock, or every Wednesday at 11 a.m., on Tuesdays at 3, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Like, you can schedule it however you want, different times of day, different days. And then that content just keeps going out on schedule without you having to log into your account every day. You don't have to take the time to do this. It's really how you automate things. And we all know that automation is the key to productivity, the key to efficiency. And so now let's talk about the next steps. The next steps we want to do is we really want to customize this content plan. I showed you that content calendar. So you really want to customize that plan. You want to block a day and time that you'll shoot your videos weekly and to set up for your syndication. After you've got the plan, now you need to do the blocking out of the calendar, shoot it, put this on a schedule, or else you're not going to do it, or at least you won't end up sticking to it if this isn't scheduled. On Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, you sit down and shoot videos. Like, if you don't put that on your calendar, you're not going to do it. If you say, I'll shoot some videos tomorrow if I get to it, I guarantee you will not get to it. So make sure it's a firm calendar appointment that you put out there so that you stick to it. So these are really the things that you need to make sure you're doing. That's really the easy 3-step plan that anyone can do. You just need to put a little time into it, and then you need to take action. And I'll say this too, that it's going to get easier the more you do this. And if it's brand engagement that you're looking for, this really is what works. All right. So, what did you learn today? What are you going to implement? That's the thing that I want you to take away from today. Just what have you learned? What are you thinking about now? Have you got your creative juices flowing? Really, really think about doing something, taking action. Don't just sit here and listen and be like, wow, there's a lot of things I can do, but maybe I'll get to it next week. We talked about that. You're not going to unless you really make a plan of action. So just to recap here, we talked about how to create video content for social media, how to create a weekly planning process, the perfect video framework, how to syndicate the content using tools or maybe doing it on your own, and then how to repurpose the content so that you can increase the frequency of the posts, the number of posts that you have available to put out there. And this is how it's all going to really take pressure off you feeling like you've got to post every single day, like it has to be a part of your day. So anyone want to share some takeaways with me today? What you got out of this training today? Helen had already posted This has been an eye-opening experience for her. She had no idea that structuring it like this could make it that much easier. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Thank you, Helen. Having a plan and a structure really will make the difference for you. I can promise you that. Uh, Marty said more on the fly content with our team. Yeah, exactly. Just, produce it. Don't make excuses. Don't put up obstacles for yourself. Just make it happen. And then Kelly says she's going to start planning this out ahead of time. Yeah, exactly. Plan ahead. It's going to make you more efficient. It's going to make it happen. Yeah, and Robert said he's excited to give this a try. Thank you, Robert. I know you can do it. You commented before a few slides back that you could. So definitely get after it. Just start with getting comfortable on video, doing some freestyle, and maybe just practice a little bit. Maybe your first hour is just practicing, and then you go, okay, now I really feel good. Now let's start shooting. It's a well invested hour, that's for sure. And then you can work your way toward planning this out each and every month and making it a consistent process. And Heather just posted, prep, plan, and stay consistent. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Prepare for it, plan it out, and then just stay consistent doing it. Consistency is the most important part here. Remember the lurkers. In your consistency, these are people watching, even if they're not engaging. At some point, they will. Of course, you want to create that engaging content and get people liking and commenting and posting and all that. But you're going to get further reach from doing that in the algorithms. But just making sure you have content on a consistent basis, that's really the key here. Start with producing content and then worry about the getting the likes and comments and things like that later. The goal for social media content anytime is for prospective customers, just to open up their feed on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and you're going to be in their feed. You're going to be omnipresent. There's that word again, omnipresence. You really want to be showing up everywhere they're looking. That should be the goal. The goal isn't to have so much reach or so many views or so many likes or so many comments. The goal should be that you just want to have all those brand impressions in front of all your ideal customers on a consistent basis. So let me know if you have any more questions at this point, or just reach out if you have questions or want some guidance. I haven't seen any more questions roll in here. You always feel free to reach out to us, phone, email, just hit us on social media. We'll answer questions in there. But I just want to thank everyone for spending time with me today. I really, really appreciate your engagement. Thanks for all the great feedback along the way, submitting your comments, the questions that you had that you posted in chat. It's really an honor to help you propel your business to the new heights. That's what we're really, our goal is to help more and more remodelers, builders, home improvement companies grow their companies, grow their reach, grow their brand, grow their revenue. That's our goal. So I just want to thank you again for your time and attention today. Really appreciate you guys being here. And we will plan on seeing you on the next training next month. Take care, everyone. We'll see you.